One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, oh, glory, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skins become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through America with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down and we stand up. Shots we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop and we ran up.
Then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh, glory, 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 we'll cry glory, oh, glory, glory. Selma's now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of the crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads he rose to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we write the wrongs of our history. No one can win the war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young energy. Welcome to the story we call the victory. By standing strong in love, our eyes will see the glory. One day, when the war is won, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, whoa, glory, whoa,
Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Reverend Deanne Morency. It is my joy, as always, to be here with you on this Sunday morning that is going to become sunny in the Bay Area. It is going, I'm claiming it and naming it for all of us, that the weather is going to be warmer. So welcome, welcome. I know that we have some people who are visiting with us for the first time. We have a very special guest speaker today, our very own Alan Klein. So you're in for quite a treat. And if you are new to Unity and you're wondering, who are these people and what are they all about, actually? We are a community that's anchored and grounded in an awareness of the divinity that each of us are. The idea that we are here to show up as love and to be love and to illuminate that love so that everyone, that we're living in a world that truly works for everyone. So that song that we just got to hear from last week's service, Glory, that we are the ones who are making that a reality. That is happening through us, through our choices, through how we show up together like this right now in Sacred Sangha. So if you're here with us in person, welcome. If you are here with us on the live stream or you're watching us later in the week, it is just a joy to be able to be in your living room. We thank you for beaming us in. And I'm going to invite all of us in this moment into a prayerful space. So I'm going to invite you to just get comfortable. I'm going to invite Tammy Nelson, who is our guest vocalist this week, and you guys are in for a treat here too. Let me be clear about that. And she is going to guide us into a prayer space with a song that I'm sure most of you know. And then I will lead us in our opening prayer. So, Tammy.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, What a wonderful world.
And so we breathe into this space that is celebrating what a wonderful world it is. All the ways that we get to stand in awe and majesty, that we get to stand in love and gratitude. So we open our hearts and we quiet our minds and we just become willing to see the wonder, willing to be the wonder. How grateful I am for this sacred community that is anchoring and holding this container that is love for each other, for ourselves, for the world. And I invite us right now to just allow the wonder and the awe that is just built into our DNA, to just allow it to bloom forth. Wonder at the love, wonder at the light. For that is the truth of who we each are. Love expressing, light flowing. And that connection that we have to each other is what truly makes this a wonderful world. So in gratitude, I just say yes. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Yay. Wonderful. So if you, Kristen, you want to come on up here? Everyone, Kristen is going to be one of our platform assistants today. We're going to give her some love. You want to scoot on right over there. So she's going to fill you in on how you can be supported by the prayer chaplains.
Want you to know that we are always available as prayer chaplains for affirmative prayer support. And if there's something on your heart that you want supported, you can simply go on our website and send a prayer request. And we can help support you that way. Also, here in the audience, we will have prayer chaplains available after service. And if you're watching on Livestream, this is a great invitation because we're about to do our community song followed by our interactive meet and greet. And so it's a great invitation for if you're not already in the spiritual Zoom room, you can do that now so that we can say hello to you. And then if you'd like to stay on after service for individual breakout prayer with prayer chaplains, we have that available as well. So we're about to start our community song, and I want to announce our Unity Choir, and they're singing Life is Magic.
So rise as you're willing and able.
Rise as you're willing and able to join us in this song. This is a new song that was picked by our very own Alan Klein. We're going to sing it. Sing at it. Do your best, all right? Here we go.
Life is brilliant.
Life is brilliant.
So resilient.
So resilient.
Life is simply infinitely magical. Open your eyes. You'll see the way. Let your life be magic every day.
to everybody, waving to people on Zoom. Please have your seats again. There's hospitality after service. You can absolutely continue all of this yumminess. And right now we're going to turn it back over to Kristen.
Well, gosh, it is so exciting to be back and have everyone in the sanctuary. It's hard not to just want to keep going with that. But now it's time for our giving and receiving. And here at Unity, we provide you with many ways to give and support us. One simply is to click on the link if you're watching for Livestream. You can donate that way, or you can text to Unity SF at 44321. And we always welcome the old-fashioned way, simply sending a check here to our home at 240 Page Street in San Francisco. And now to talk about why she gives to Unity is our very own board member extraordinaire, Carol Donahan.
Good morning. To see you all. It's great to be in this sanctuary. I've been away a little, not that long, but a little, and it's just lovely to be here. And why do I give to Unity San Francisco? And you know, usually at this point you could think of the cornerstones to the Unity platform of affirmative prayer, the 5 principles, the 12 powers, go along through the whole list of the classes and the various things. But for me today, it's going to go in a different direction. And some of you may think, oh, that's something small, and it may be, but very effective. So let me tell you my story. Through the pandemic, I was really feeling that I was handling it pretty well. Things were going pretty good. I was a good creator. I was convinced of that. Unity teaches us how to do that, right? So I was moving along quite well until about maybe 3/4 or so of the way through. And things started happening to me. Have you ever felt like that? Things are happening to me. And of course, when I started looking at that, I thought, oh my, how did I get to this state? It wasn't like there was boulders on my path, but maybe they were bigger than pebbles. And I was uncomfortable. I was whining a bit, I felt, this poor me sort of attitude. And I started looking at what I wasn't doing. How did I create this? Because I was now taking responsibility. How did this happen? And I realized that some of the early things that I learned in classes, I'm not a long-time Unity member like some of you, like Connie and Dave and Alan, and many of you have been here many more, Susan, been here many more years. But I've been here about 5 years and should know these principles and things to hold on to. And so I decided that I was going to make changes to my life, and I took 3 things that I had been doing before. And one was a gratitude list, which every night I send something I'm grateful for in that day to someone. I send it to someone else because I want to be accountable. The second thing I do in the morning is I state my intention for the day. And then I say who I intend to be in that day. And I look back through the day at that intention of who I want to be and see where I'm at. And sometimes it's really nowhere close, like, oh my God, where am I? So it really makes me look at things. And it wasn't very long before my life started shifting again, back to feeling more like I was the creator and things were going smooth. So I realize some of you may still be saying, those are small things, and maybe they are, but the whole way they're effective is, if I intellectualize them and just tell you about them, it doesn't mean much, does it? But the trick is in doing them. And by doing them, I did make a difference to my life. And for this and so many reasons, I do give to this community, as I hope you do. And remember, giving is receiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carol. And so we have an affirmation that we like to say that goes along with that. And I'll say it once and invite you to know it with me. I give with abundant joy, and I receive abundantly. Can we know this together? You know what's happening, guys? I realize I can't there we go. Didn't have the glasses. Let's try that again. I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. And so it is. Back to Deanne.
And so it is. She's not joking, though. I mean, that confidence monitor, you have to be like young, with young eyes, in order to really make that work. Oh, so we have a wonderful guest speaker here with us today. Alan, I love this. So Alan sent me some talking points, and he said, you don't have to use all of it. But then when I read it, I thought, oh, I want to use all of this. So I love this quote from Jerry Lewis. Alan is a noble and vital force watching over the human condition. Right? I mean, I love that, right? And if you are old enough to remember Captain Kangaroo, or maybe Merv Griffin, or even the Jackie Gleason show, Alan was the scenic designer for all of those shows. That's what he did. So more recently, he has served as president on the board at Unity San Francisco, and he presents at numerous Unities all over the place. He's led a retreat at Unity Village. He has done a TED Talk. He's an author of 30-plus books. And those include The Healing Power of Humor, Embracing Life After Loss, and the most recent one, which is what he's going to be speaking on today, is The Awe Factor. So all of these books are going to be available. He's got a whole little table set up downstairs, so if you want to purchase any of his books, you absolutely can. What I'd like to do right now, however, is invite Tammy Nelson to come back up, and she is going to bless us with another song. And so I'm just going to invite you all to just sort of breathe into, truly, what a beautiful morning it is.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me walk by. But a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth is like music. All the sounds of the earth is like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree, and old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
Oh, what a beautiful morning, even though it's foggy. How many of you saw the corn is as high as an elephant's eye when you came in on Page Street? Neither did I. However, what I did see is just down a couple of doors down is an incredible bougainvillea. So the point is there is all around us. You don't have to be in Kansas to see the corn and that awe. And I want to give you some examples of that in my life and that I've researched. So Dave and I were, a couple of years ago, Dave and I were in Yosemite, and we were walking up to Vernal Falls, and there was a path up, and then there was a path coming down. And we're walking up and trudging up. It's quite a hill, and somebody going down turns around and goes, "Alan?" And I looked and looked. I didn't recognize the person. And he said, "I'm John. I was your apprentice in summer stock 40 years ago." Now, for me, that was an awe moment. For you, you might say, well, that's just a coincidence. But you know, I think it's more than a coincidence, because just at that moment, I mean, it's like, what if I had turned a slightly different path? What if he had been talking to someone and didn't look at me? All these things had to line up just in that second. And so for me, that is an awe moment. When my mom was 82, she took her first plane ride. And I met her at the airport, and she got off the plane. I said, "Ma, how did you like your first flight?" And she said, "It's wonderful. You could see the tops of the clouds." And I thought that was an awe moment for her. I flew a lot, I mean, as much as 100,000 miles a year, and I hardly ever looked at the tops of the clouds. But that was an awe moment for her. So there are awe moments all around us, and one of them I heard on the radio while I was writing my book, and I thought, this was amazing. So it was 3 prisoners who were getting out of prison one day, and there was a reporter there asking each of them, what do you want to, what's the first thing you want to do, or what are you looking forward to, basically, when you get out of prison? And the first one naturally said, well, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing my family. And the second one said, you know, I have loved baseball. I haven't seen a real baseball game in years, a live baseball game. I'm looking to going to a baseball game. And the third prisoner, and this is what amazed me, said, I'm looking to open the refrigerator. For him, that was an awe moment, and I thought that was kind of a crazy answer. But I also thought he had not opened a refrigerator to get a glass of milk or a cold glass of water or a piece of fruit or make his own sandwich for maybe 20 years. And so for him, that was an awe moment. So as you see from those stories, awe is kind of in the eyes of the beholder. And it's also takes different shapes and sizes. And it's also a little difficult to explain exactly what it is. When I first started writing the book, I had coffee with my agent, Michael Larson, my former literary agent, who is in the audience today. Thank you for being here, Michael. Michael sold my first book, The Healing Power of Humor, so I'm very grateful for that. But one question you asked me, Michael, I don't know if you realize how important that question was. And you said, Alan, what is awe? And I remember I gave you some answer off the top of my head, and I also realized when I went back home, I wasn't satisfied with that answer. So I started doing more and more research, particularly because I was writing the book. And what I found, the dictionary, one of the definitions, there's many, but one of them says, awe is the reverence mixed with fear and wonder. And I thought, fear? I don't associate fear with awe. And yet then I remember when I was a child and there was thunder and lightning, I would be scared stiff and I would hide under the blanket. So there was fear. You know, I was in awe of the lightning, but the noise put me under the blanket. So then I looked at researchers. What do researchers say about awe? So what I found was that they say when you see something that awes you, it expands it kind of challenges who you are in the world. You get to see your world in a different way. And, you know, I thought those are good explanations, but it's not one that really sat well with me. So I started to do research and asking a lot of people what awe was for them. And what I found, a lot of them, and you may feel this too, when you see something that awes you, maybe you feel like it's taking your breath away, knocked your socks off, gave you goosebumps. Or maybe you even went, oh my God, because it was so immense, so big that you couldn't really grasp it. You couldn't explain it. So I thought, well, I came up with my own acronym of what awe is. And AWE, I came up with a wow experience. Whenever I say, you know, wow, I'm having a little bit of awe. So that was some of the research that I did. And I also was looking at, well, why is awe important? And what I found that researchers, only in the last 8 to 10 years, have been doing research on this important emotion. And what they found is that a number of studies, and I have some of them in the book, what they found was that awe can help us be healthier and happier. One of the studies, and this amazed me, says if you can find some awe in your life, it will help decrease any inflammation you have. Keep us healthier. It also reduces our stress, some of the studies have shown. And this next one may be really important for unity, because it said if you see something that awes you, you will be more generous. And I thought, Deanne, we should have photos of awe when we're asking for tithing. Have photos of awe up there. it could help us. So, you know, I want to show you a couple to give you an example of what awe is, because nature is the #1 generator of awe. If you want more awe in your life, get out in nature, or just look at a flower and something like that. So here's sunsets and sunrises often will awe us. I know David and I were in Hawaii, and if you go to the beach at night when the sun sets, there's often a green flash. And not every night, but quite a number of nights. Look at this sunset. Amazing. And then this photo. This is in Norway. And you know, when the dictionary said fear and wonder, I looked at this the first time and my stomach dropped. So, yes. Nature, get out in nature to get more awe. So I just want to tell you about one recent research. It came out last September. It was in Motion Journal. And they took 2 groups of 52 people. These are mostly older people, 60, 70, 80 years old. And they told both groups, We want you to go out once a week for 15 minutes and go out, mostly to go in nature, but even in cityscapes, to go out and find something, to just go out and take a walk. 2 groups, same thing, take a walk. The one group, though, they pulled aside and they said, what we'd like you to do is when you go out on your walk, to find something that awes you, something that amazes you, and then just see how you feel at that time. And then they did that for 8 weeks, so they only went out once a week, 15 minutes for 8 weeks, and then they compiled the research that they were doing. And they found the group that did not have that awe prompt, they said things like, one woman said, well, you know, I'm going on a trip in a couple of days, I'm not packed, I have to go buy stuff, I don't have time. What they found was those people would worry about everyday things or things that they were really concerned about. The awe group, on the other hand, said they had more positive emotions, less negative emotion, and overall, compared to the other group, they were happier. So what I'm saying is just go out 15 minutes and have that prompt to look for something that will awe you, and probably it will. So I said nature is the number one generator of awe, but there's also man-made awe. How many of you have seen Cirque du Soleil? And I don't know about you, but every show I am awed, many times actually during the show, and I've seen many of those. And it's incredible, interesting at least to me, that they say in their ads, they say Cirque du Soleil that we have 5 senses, and Cirque du Soleil gives you the 6th sense, which is awe. So want more in your life? Go see a Cirque du Soleil show. Also, space travel. Is that not incredible? There are 10 people right now living on a spaceship somewhere out there, up there. You know, they are eating, they are going to the bathroom, they're out there somewhere. And just this morning, Richard Branson is up there in space too. He's getting ready to offer that as like an airline ticket for people, and a lot of people have signed up. It costs $250,000. So I thought I'd ask him our next auction. Maybe he'll give us one. But I heard this on the radio yesterday, and this little, you know, this big awe says little, this was a little awe. The name of his ship, the spaceship that he's riding this morning, anyone know what it is? It's Unity. You know, you heard, you know, you can't make this stuff up. It just, and then what about gigantic skyscrapers? You know Salesforce building, right, in this very city. Imagine putting 2 of those on top of each other, right? You got that picture? That would not be the tallest building in the world. Tallest building in the world is in Dubai, and the thing that amazes me is next year that's not going to be the tallest building, there's going to be one higher. So man-made awe also. So the other thing, the other way to get or notice, I guess, awe is our connections with other people. And often things happen that's kind of amazing. So I want to share with you, I want to read from my book. It's something that happened to me at Unity a number of years ago on the other Bush Street Unity. Dave was teaching a class on giving and taking. And during the class, any of you that don't know that facility, it's this storefront, has a little lobby, and then the sanctuary was in the back. And during the class, this young, pretty disheveled young man came into the lobby. And Dave and another member, Robert Kane, who was taking the class, went to this young man to see what the man wanted. And then Dave came back to teach the class, and then Robert went out with the man in the street and came back about 10, 15 minutes later and told us this incredible story. So one of the things I'm awed about is that man-made glasses, so I could see. Not only could I see, but I want to share with you that this year I have glaucoma, and I had a little, I don't know, tube in this eye. I'm sorry, I have a little, how can I point? I have a little, in this eye, anyhow, the miracles and amazement of medical stuff is quite, that was my point. Anyhow, so Robert came back and told us this story. It seems that the unkempt stranger was walking the streets hoping to find some solace in a church. But being nighttime, they were all closed. He passed our spiritual center and walked in thinking we were having a service. In chatting with him, Robert found out that this young man needed $18 to get to Fresno, where he said he could get some sort of housing. He stated that a check was being sent there for some work he had done, but couldn't get it until he checked into his living quarters. Like many of us feel when someone asks for a handout, Robert initially felt that he was being taken. Maybe this hardship story wasn't true at all. Maybe he didn't really need the money. Maybe he repeats his same woe is me story to a lot of people. Nevertheless, Robert didn't listen to those negative thoughts, especially after the class was discussing inner center giving, which involves giving without expecting anything in return. After much trouble getting the ATM machine across the street to work, Robert withdrew $20 and gave it to the young man, who then went on his way. When Robert returned to the class, found a number of remarkable things in what happened. Among them was that the young man, who could have asked for any amount of money, only requested $18. What's so amazing with this is that the Jewish tradition, the number 18, is chai in Hebrew. And it means life. And in its plural form, chayam is often a toast, l'chaim, to life. Robert also told us that the man's name was Matthew, one of the 12 apostles whose name means gift of God. The appearance of the young man, just as we were discussing the act of giving and all its ramifications, seems so impeccably timed that we joked with Dave that he had hired this actor to provide the perfect illustration for the lesson. Of course, that wasn't true, but it provided a bit of levity into what seemed like a somewhat mysterious occurrence. After the class, I kept wondering if this was a scam after all. When I got back home, I checked to see if there was a train from San Francisco to Fresno at 1:15 in the morning, the time Matthew said it would be leaving. There wasn't. And in addition, there wasn't any train either during the daytime or at night that cost anywhere near $18. So, who knows if Matthew was telling the truth or not? But somehow it didn't seem to matter. It was a very small price to pay for such a great example of giving. And who knows, maybe he was indeed a gift from God. So I want to go back a little to the research and why is awe important. how to get, since the research says that awe is really important, how to get more awe in your life. So I have lots of examples in the book, but I'll just do 3 of them right now. One of them is set your intentions. I have a TEDx talk, and it is on intention. And just like the people in the awe walk, one group without the intention did not find awe, the other did. So set your intention to find awe. A couple of years ago, I took a class called Wonder Hunt. It's a 2-week class, and every day they gave us a prompt, one word, to go out and find things like that word or that word representing that word, and take a photo of it. And I have been walking my dog several times a day, and I had also planted morning glories around the front gate. And every day I walk, back and forth. It wasn't until I had that intention of looking for hearts that I realized every leaf on the morning glory vine was in the shape of a heart. And there were tons of them. But I had never seen it without my intention. So the other thing is, be curious. Grow down. Be like a child. And Zen believes in seeing the world with beginner's mind. I remember once David and I were in a cafe, and we had a previous dog. It was a golden retriever, had this big, beautiful plume-like tail, and the dog was chained up to the outside gate, and so we could see it. And this little 2-year-old came and saw the dog's tail and just was, went over, and the dog would wave the tail, and the kid would get hysterical with laughter. And the breeze and the tickling. And it was just amazing to watch how this dog's tail was like an awe for this little kid. Didn't know anything about awe, but it just was his whole being at that time, his whole wonder of finding that. And the third thing, I think, to find more awe in your life is to look closer. Dave and I were in Holland pre-COVID, and it was tulip time. And we went to a place called Keukenhof Gardens. And they plant, I'll show you a photo. They plant 7 million tulips and other bulbs too. 7 million tulips. And just walking around every turn, every corner, they were different tulips and different designs, and it was truly awe-inspiring. And looking at tulips can be awe-inspiring, but the little tip for you is look closer. When I looked inside the tulip, that's when what really blew me away. The shapes, the colors, the design, it just amazed me. So look closer. So, Michael Larson, I finally have the answer to what awe is after doing all this research. This is what I finally came to a conclusion, at least for me, maybe not for you, what awe is. Awe is the presence of the divine in the world. If you can find awe in something, you are finding the divine. As in Unity, we talk about awe being in here and out there. So look for awe, and you will be connected to the divine. So what if I said to you that the most awe-inspiring thing is sitting right in this room? All of you. It's so amazing that you could hear me, that I could see you, almost, that I could smell those flowers. Well, maybe not, they're not real, but but the most amazing thing is our bodies. They are incredible. I mean, you are breathing in and out right now with one breath keeping you alive. It is just so amazing. So I found a video on YouTube, and it's put together by now I forgot their name. Do I have it written down? Anyhow, it'll be on the video. And so I want to show that to you because it illustrates the point I am making.
You know, the expression I use is I say we're all masterpieces and works in progress simultaneously. So to be human is to be extraordinary. I have a quote which says, even on your worst day, you're a living miracle. If you think about the trillions of reactions that are happening just within the biochemistry of our physicality, it's overwhelming. That we can eat food with friends at a dinner table and our body will take care of the process of digestion, when to secrete the bile from the bile ducts, when to release acid to break down the food, so that the apple that you just ate at some point will become a liver cell. I mean, that is just mind-blowing, like magic, right? Yet we don't think about it. So when you really understand the endless myriad of transactions that are happening in the human brain and the human body that actually gives us the experience of being alive, it's humbling. You kind of can't help but feel a sense of gratitude and grace by virtue of the fact that I have as a human, I have the capacity to see the people I love. The fact that I can smell, the sense that I can hear the dulcet tones of a loved one or a child telling me what they feel. And I can taste the extraordinary abundance of these different flavors that we get to experience by virtue of Mother Nature. Just those 5 senses that we take for granted every day. From when you really get it, it becomes impossible to not revere life, your own and others, to recognize what an immaculate conception every being is by virtue of the gift that it is that we get to experience life at all. Something that really hit home many years ago was that just to be alive is itself a miracle. And from that moment forth, I stopped berating myself. I'm not perfect. And there's so much humility and patience that we can develop when we understand that and then afford others. If we could afford each other just a little bit more patience, a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy for the fact that it is difficult, it is sometimes challenging to take on a new task, and that's okay, then that again would make for a much more loving and accepting society. But within that, we never neglect the magic that it is to be a human being.
So the words are spoken, I think it's called Fearless Soul Team, put that together, except, let me tell you in a moment, the words are by Peter Crone, and the video that you see, our wonderful Ryan Harvey did that. Woohoo! Yes. Amazing. So anyone that knows me knows that I love Broadway musicals. I was brought up at 7 years old. I was taken to see Oklahoma. And so it's very fitting that Tammy sang Oh, What a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma to open the talk today. But there was a show I remember seeing in the late 50s. It was called Flower Drum Song. Remember that? And it had an incredible song in it called 100 Million Miracles. Misa, you want to come up and sing it? Maybe next week. Incredible song, and it talks about all of the miracles in our life every single day. So I invite you to go out and look for those 100 million miracles. Look for those wow experiences like Tammy singing, their voices, or Misa's voice. Incredible. Look for the corners as high as an elephant's eye or the bougainvillea down the block, because there is all around us. And I invite you to look for it. So I want to close with an Einstein quote. And he said or wrote, "There are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is as though everything is a miracle." So with that in mind, I would like to invite Deanne up and let us go into a time of meditation.
So can we give Alan some love here, please? I'm gonna move over here so they can get the podium out. Our very own Alan Klein. And the books will be available downstairs afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're good, Alan? Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Brian. So we're going to take this into a time of meditation, right? An opportunity. So I'm going to invite Misa forward. So the invitation right now is just to allow everything Alan has been sharing about awe and wonder, right? That we get to ignite that within ourselves. We get to practice this right now. Brian? Oh, we need the clicker. Thank you. We lost a clicker. It's easier just to say it. So I invite everyone to just sit in your heart with what is it that fills you with awe and wonder. What can you open to?
I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. I don't have all the answers now, but I'm willing to take it slow. I believe something's calling me, and where the path leads, I don't know, but I am open to the possibility. I am open, open.
So we open our hearts. And the invitation right now is just to allow whatever inspires that awe and wonder for you, whether it is the magnificence of the cosmos as the planets spin in their orbits, whether it is the interconnectedness of the cellular structure that are these magnificent body temples, whether it is the love that we get to see and share with each other. Perhaps there is a loved one that we are in awe of how much we love. Just allowing that, calling that into our hearts and into our minds, and just allowing that spaciousness to guide us, to support us, to nourish us. And let's rest together here for a few moments in the silence, in awe. to open our hearts. We continue to allow the awe and wonder to grow in our understanding. We continue to bless each other, knowing that as we say yes, everything we need, we have, and more. And so it is. Amen. Let's sing with Nisa here.
To the possibility, I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. Sing, I am open. I am open. And again, I am open. Are you open? I am open. You have to open to your highest good. Open. Sing, I am open. With conviction, I am open. Surrender to your highest good. Open. One more. I am open. Stay open. And so it is.
Oh. Thank you, Misa. Coming up here, Shantaria. Shantaria, is this her second time being platform assistant? Doesn't she look fabulous? I love that. And she's going to guide us through our spiritual practices.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Deanne and Misa, for guiding us in that beautiful centering, opening to awe meditation. And thank you, Alan. Can we give him some love? I mean, was that... So, as we do every week, I want to invite you all to our moment of spiritual practices. And if you are in the sanctuary, they are behind the seat in front of you. But let's get started. So I look at the world with beginner's eyes. I see the divine in everything. I live my life in radical amazement. And I allow myself to be open to awe and wonder effortlessly in my life. If you are online, please click on the button for spiritual practices, fill them out. You can do that there. And of course, you're invited to create your own. We are a creative group, right? We're unity. That's what we do, create. And if you're a first-time guest, we have a gift for you. So please fill out the spiritual connection card and we will send it to you. And now back to Reverend Deanne.
Thank you so much, Shantaria. Let's give her some love, shall we? Kristen, come on up here with me. So there's lots of ways that you can stay connected here at Unity San Francisco. So if you check it out on our website, we have the weekly ways to connect. You can check out meditations. You can check out some of the songs. We've got the talk itself. There's all ways for you every single day, as Carol spoke to so beautifully in her Why I Give, the ways to stay anchored in what we teach and what we know.
Yes, and we are open now.
Do we look open? Are we open?
Celebrating the fact that there are no more steps to being here. Just come. We'd love to have you. The space is filling up in a joyous way, so that's the message. No more steps to take. Please come.
Yes, please
you
be
are
with
welcome.
us. So we have an affirmative prayer workshop coming up. Kristen,
Yes.
you want to share
Yes.
what that is?
That's going to be a 4-hour workshop coming up on Saturday, August 21st. And the really exciting thing about it, which I read, is that it's not only you can join us on Zoom, but it's going to be live.
Yeah, we're going to be in the
Which
room
is
together.
amazing to have us all be together doing affirmative prayer with our own Deanne, who is a star and incredible teacher in this. So that is coming up on August 21st. Look on the website and check it out.
Yeah, so if you're new to affirmative prayer, if you want to know more about what we do here at Unity, it's a beautiful way to get an understanding of what we teach and what we really believe. And then we also have our prayer retreat coming up. Again, in person at Mercy Center, beautiful facility. That's going to be Friday through Sunday. It's just luscious and yummy. Everybody has a private room, shared bathroom on each floor, and then there's super good food.
Yeah.
And $395 includes everything. So it's the program itself, it's all the food, it's your lodging, it's really a deal. So even if you're like, it's a great way to just treat yourself. I don't know about you, but I feel like I need some treating after the year and a half that we've all had. So please join us. You can find more information online. You can also ask me or any of the prayer chaplains because we all do this together every year. It's powerful.
Yes, and summertime, we've got a couple quick changes. Reverend Elizabeth will not be doing sound meditations on Sunday, but our extraordinary prayer chaplains are going to be holding the space for meditation. So same time, 10 to 10:30 on Sundays, we welcome you in for some gorgeous meditation from our prayer chaplains, and Reverend Elizabeth will be back in the fall.
That's right. So we want to thank Marty and Dave for stepping up and
Yes,
holding the space
thank
for
you.
us. Yep. So I thank you to everybody. Can we give Tammy Nelson some love, please? Our fabulous band. They just show up and do amazing work. And Alan Klein, of course, with our fabulous backup singers. So we have an affirmation. I'll say it once, and I'll invite you to know it with me. I lovingly create a world of safety, equity, and equality. Can we please know this together? I lovingly create a world of safety, equity, and equality. And so it is. So let's bring up our fabulous music team, and I'm going to invite you to stand for our final closing song, One Step. You can join us downstairs for spiritual connection and for hospitality. Here you go.
1, 2, 3. One step, one step, one step, one step. Old-time religion is a box I do not fit in. I am metaphysical, I am transcendent. Change the situation by changing your mind. Raise the vibration by knowing you are divine. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess in me. What do you believe? You've got to know your truth. Pure potential possibility, that is you. If you stand in opposition, you perpetuate the thing. Would you resist? Persist, soul and love be what you bring. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess in one step. One step, one step. And the passion that you got, be pulled by your vision, don't get pushed by your thoughts. Everything experienced is energetic. Be aware of energy you give and you get it. Out of a routine, slip into observe a state. Change your mind by changing habits, choose a different way. Say oh yes to your highest and your best. What you desire you can straight up manifest. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess. One step, one step, one step, one step, one step,
everybody. We'll see you downstairs for hospitality. If you'd like prayer, the prayer chaplains are available.